Welcome back to economic classes. Dear friends, in the previous video we have discussed about price elasticity of demand, income elasticity of demand and cross elasticity of demand. Friends, with related to elasticity of demand and the different classifications, today we go with the last topic of that is elasticity and expenditure. Elasticity and expenditure. Friends, we already discussed in the last class that is what is the meaning of elasticity, and we also know that what is the meaning of expenditure. So I just give a brief. Elasticity, which means where there is a change, where there is a flexibility. Okay, so coming to the expenditure, expenditure is what? The sum total of all the expenditure which are going to spend, either it may be in the different economic activities, production, function, exchange, distribution, whatever it may be, right? So for that reason, if we are going to build the relationship in between one side elasticity and on the other side that is expenditure. Okay, so this is how we are going to study in this today's class, that is about elasticity and expenditure. Okay, well, so why to wait then? Let us back to this directly towards to the topic. Well, so now just look at this expenditure. Friends, you all know already that expenditure goes on, changes due to change in several factors again. As we already seen in case of change in case of quantity demand, change in case of price elasticity of demand, so many of influencing factors or the determinants are already influenced. The same way here, either to increase in the expenditure or to decrease in the expenditure, again this is again due to what reason? These are all again due to some of the determinants. This is because of some of the determinants. Okay, so there again you can see the same determinants which have influenced on the quantity demand. Why? Because the expenditure increases due to the change in the price in the quantity demand, and that is the main reason here. If the increase in the price, decrease in the quantity, but again the quantity, that is what expenditure increases. Sometimes here there is a reason, increase or decrease in the price may influence in the increase in the, that is what expenditure, that we see later. But here come to this way, as I was saying here, change in expenditure due to change in determinants. What are the different determinants that they may affect on the change in the expenditure? Friends, as we already seen in case of quantity demand, the same determinants which are going to influence on the quantity demand that are also influences on the expenditure. That is what? Change in the price, change in the income, change in the taste and preference, and change in the price of related products. So these all together again influences on the expenditure. So today's class we are just moving towards elasticity and expenditure, and here this expenditure is going to change, is going to be flexible due to main change in the price. Okay, so that is what we are going to see here. Change in the price is directly influenced on the change in the expenditure. Change in the price influences on the change in quantity demand, and that is how we don't know, either it may be increase in the price or decrease in the price that affects on the change in the expenditure, and that is what it is going to change in the expenditure is going to be called as elasticity of expenditure. Okay, so change in the price, if it influences on the change in the expenditure, that is called price elasticity of expenditure. Then how you define the price elasticity of expenditure? Let us back to this now here. That is what? The change in the price and quantity demand. The change in the quantity, that is what price and quantity demand changes the expenditure. Changes the expenditure. Well, so this is what we already know. If there is a change in the price and quantity demand, that influences on the change in the expenditure. Okay. So if we say the real exact definition, that is what we are going to say. The proportion or you can just say the responsiveness of expenditure, the responsiveness of expenditure to the change in the price and quantity demand is called price elasticity. Price elasticity of expenditure. Look at this now. The responsiveness of expenditure to the change in the price and the quantity demand is called price elasticity of expenditure. Well, so in this price elasticity of expenditure, we have different types of price elasticity of expenditure. Mainly we have three types of price elasticity of demand. Let us see what are these three types of price elasticity of expenditure. Well, the different classifications of price elasticity of expenditure. That is why we go with classifications of price elasticity of expenditure. Price elasticity of expenditure. Well, in this, if we go with the several classifications one by one. First one, that is what we call more elasticity of expenditure. Elasticity of expenditure. More elasticity of expenditure. The second one into this, less elasticity. Elasticity of expenditure. The third one, the last one, that is unitary elasticity of expenditure. Well, see, these are the three different classifications of price elasticity of expenditure. That is what? More elasticity of expenditure, less elasticity of expenditure, and the last one, unitary elasticity of expenditure. Well, so what actually that tells in case of more elasticity of expenditure? Friends, more elasticity of expenditure, it is as same as the more elasticity of, that is what price elasticity of demand, but a little change we are going to see here. So, in case of more elasticity of expenditure, I just define it if the relationship between price and expenditure is opposite in nature, then it is called more elasticity of expenditure. Well, so this is how. If the relationship between price and expenditure which move in opposite direction. So take for example, if increase in the price, that means the expenditure to decrease. Increase in the price may lead to decrease in the expenditure, or decrease in the price may lead to increase in the expenditure. Whatever it may be. either increase or decrease in the price, if opposite to that, that is going to occur in case of expenditure, then we are going to call it as what? That is more elasticity of demand, more elasticity of expenditure. Okay, so this is what opposite relationship in between price and the expenditure, and that is what we call more elasticity of expenditure. Well, so come to this second one now, less elasticity of expenditure. Less elasticity of expenditure. The second one is less elasticity of expenditure. Less elasticity of expenditure. What the less elasticity of expenditure tells? Friends, here the less elasticity of expenditure is dead opposite to the more elasticity of expenditure. So in more elasticity of expenditure, we already seen the opposite relationship between price as well as the expenditure, that is more elasticity. But what about the less elasticity of expenditure? Less elasticity of expenditure, when we are going to see the relationship that is positive or in a same nature. So for that reason, if the relationship between price and expenditure, is in positive or similar nature, then it is called less elasticity of expenditure. Well, see friends, here if the relationship between price and the expenditure are same or which are similar or positive in nature, then we are going to call that as a less elasticity of expenditure. So then how it will be? So for example, if increase in the price leads to increase in the expenditure, or decrease in the price may leads to decrease in the expenditure. Look at the relationship here. As it increases, this also increases. The same way, if it decreases, this also decreases. So here the relationship what we are seeing here, and that is what? It is the positive relationship. If the relationship between price and the expenditure is positive in nature, then we are going to call it as a less elasticity of expenditure. Hope you are clear? Very good. Well, come to the third one now. What is the third? Unitary elasticity of expenditure. Let us look into this. The third one is unitary, or sometimes we also call it as what? Equal. Yes, good. Equal elasticity of expenditure. Equal or unitary elasticity of expenditure. Then how you can call it as? It's not as the meaning of price elasticity of demand. That is equal elasticity of that is what price elasticity equal or unitary elasticity of demand. Not of that here. So here unitary or equal elasticity of expenditure, little different from that meaning here. So how it is going to be different? Friends, as we already seen, in case of less elasticity, same relationship. In case of more elasticity, opposite relationship. But in case of unitary or equal elasticity of expenditure, whatever may be the change in the price, but it does not influence us on the expenditure. How much it is going to change in the price, that is not at all influences on the expenditure, then it is going to call as unitary or equal elasticity of expenditure. So that is how we are going to say whatever, or let me just start with, if whatever change in the price leads to or does not affect or leads to no change in the expenditure, called unitary elasticity. That is what? Unitary elasticity of expenditure. Well, now you just see, friends. Unitary, which means whatever may be the change in the price, but if there is no change in case of expenditure, then it is going to be called as equal elasticity of expenditure. Whatever change in the price leads to no change in the expenditure. Whatever, either it may increase, either it may decrease, whatever, but if that means there is no change in the expenditure. Just see, for example, increase in the price leads to no change. We can just write that as delta dash, which means no change in expenditure, or sometimes decrease in the price also influences no change on the expenditure. Here either increase or decrease will not at all influences on the expenditure, then we are going to call it as what? That is unitary elasticity of expenditure. Well, so this is a no change, no influence. No change or no influence in case of expenditure due to changing that is what price. Well, so these are the three different types of price elasticity of expenditure. Friends, just look at these with an example. Let us come to this now. Well, just look at on these different classifications of elasticity of expenditure with the help of schedule and the example. I am going to read the other first one. Price, quantity, expenditure, and here elasticity of expenditure. Okay? First one, as I already mentioned, this is price taken to rupees. And next one we go to with quantity taken to kgs. Expenditure again taken to rupees. And now here elasticity of expenditure. Elasticity of expenditure. Come to the first one. I just take some that is what price levels to prove these three are equal here. That is what same 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20. Okay? Well, in the same way, let us go to with the quantity. As we know that the law of demand tells us as the price is more, the quantity demand what we purchase is going to be less. So here the price is more, that 70 rupees that we have to purchase less. So I take as 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. See, as the price goes on increases, the quantity that goes on increases as per the law. Well, so come to the expenditure. How do you find the expenditure here? So expenditure can be calculated. Expenditure is equals to price into quantity. So at what price, how many quantities that we are going to purchase, that amount we are going to spend. So how much amount we are going to spend, that is the expenditure here, and that is multiplied by price and the quantity that what we are going to purchase. Well, so now just multiply this two now. 70 into 2 it is 140, 60 into 3 it is 180, 50 into 4 it is 200, again 40 into 5 it's again 200. Well, so 30 into 3 it is 180, sorry 30 into 6 it is 180, 20 into 7 it is 140. Well, so here we have seen some of expenditures which are not similar here. They are going to fluctuate. They are going to change. So in that way, if we look into this one here, firstly it is 140, 180, 200. Again it is 200, 180 and 40 like this. These are moving here. Okay. So now we will just see, as we already seen in case of elasticity of expenditure, three types we are going with. If the relationship between price and expenditure is opposite. So now we first find here. So here the price which is decreasing, whereas in case of expenditure it is increasing. Here it is decreasing, here it is increasing. So what kind of relationship we are finding here? Opposite relationship. Friends, if opposite relationship it comes, what is the elasticity of expenditure? Exactly, that is what it is. More elasticity of expenditure. More elasticity of expenditure. This is more elasticity of expenditure. This is more elasticity of expenditure. How you write? E greater than 1. Elasticity of expenditure is greater than 1. Okay? So this is what we have found. Opposite relationship. Here it is decreasing, here it is increasing. So it is opposite relationship. So that we are going to call it as what? More elasticity of expenditure. So come to the second one here. Now here, okay, there is again still decrease in the price. Well, so what about the quantity? That is what expenditure. So here the expenditure is 200 and 200. Do you find any changes here? No, there is no change. There is no change. No change at all. So what we have seen already, if there is a change, either it may increase or decrease. If there is no change in case of expenditure, that is going to call as, yes, that is unitary elasticity of expenditure. It is called unitary elasticity of expenditure. How do you call it as unitary? Because whatever may be the change in the price, but there is no change in the expenditure, that is 200, 200, and that is called unitary elasticity of expenditure. Then how do you write this? EE is equals to 1. EE is equals to 1. Okay? So this is how we are going to say here. Sorry, here E is equals to 0. Not 1, it is 0. Well, so come to the next one here. So again here the price is decreasing, and look at about this expenditure is also decreasing there. So one, in case of price is decreasing, other side and the expenditure is also decreasing. Both are decreasing here. So if both are decreasing, then what we call, or if both have same direction, decreasing, which are moving in the downside, which are decreasing in the downside. So we are going to call, if these have positive in nature, and that is what? Less elasticity of expenditure. So how you write it? Expenditure less than 1. Okay? So that is how less elasticity of expenditure is going to be called if the relationship is positive or similar in nature. Well, so these are different classifications of price elasticity of expenditure. So here we have come to conclusion that in the price elasticity of expenditure, due to change in the price, the expenditure is going to change, but we are going to assume other determinants are going to be assumed as constant. Well, so this is all about price elasticity of expenditure. So remaining things we'll discuss in the next class. Until stay at home, stay cute. Thank you so much.